The general standard of Christmas movies is that they often feature supernatural elements like Santa and elves, the North Pole, and flying reindeer. Alternatively, they may stay more grounded in reality, but for the most part, they are usually upbeat and convey messages about why the holiday is celebrated and why it is important to so many people. These movies tend to be more popular because many in first world countries can relate to having a cozy Christmas with their family and loved ones. Unfortunately, for many others, this isn't always the case, and some have no choice but to try to make the best of their holidays while in an active war zone. A handful of films have explored this concept, almost all of which are set during either World War I or World War II. These are the best Christmas war movies, perfect for people who are looking for something a little bit different or who simply don't enjoy the vibe that most Christmas films offer. Number 10. The Victors, 1963, directed by Carl Foreman. The Victors was panned by critics and received many negative reviews. However, for more casual audiences, it has become a beloved cult film set during World War II. Over the holiday season of 1942, several Allied soldiers must fight for survival in occupied France. As for its message, director Carl Foreman stated that the movie reflected his personal views on the futility and hopelessness of war, and it definitely shows. One of the most profound moments in the movie is when a group of Allied soldiers is executed in cold blood on Christmas Eve by a squadron of Nazis, all while Frank Sinatra's "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" plays in the background. If that doesn't send a crystal clear message about what war is actually like, nothing does. It's brooding, dark, and depressing, but it is sure to make anyone appreciate their own happy holidays more by experiencing the nightmarish conditions that many in war-torn countries suffer through. All in all, this is a movie that has never truly received the appreciation or attention it deserves. Number 9. Battle of the Bulge, 1965, directed by Ken Anakin. Battle of the Bulge is named after the World War II engagement of the same name, which lasted from December 16, 1944 to January 28, 1945, in the Ardennes region of Belgium, Germany, and Luxembourg. It was the last desperate offensive made by Nazi Germany during the war, intended to stall the Allied advance and possibly turn the tide of the conflict. Famously, the battle took place over the Christmas season, and though the holiday plays a relatively small part in the 1965 film, it nonetheless serves as a reminder that this bloody battle ruined both Christmas and New Year's Eve. The movie is exciting but contains some major historical inaccuracies that are pretty glaring. Still, it's an enjoyable film and even served as inspiration for the Battle of Hoth scene in Star Wars.
Hey, Standiford. What was that number in Paris? 8-4-42-70.
Number 8. Battleground, 1949. Directed by William A. Wellman. Another film set during the Battle of the Bulge is 1949's Battleground, centering on the heroics of the 101st Airborne Division of the United States Army, who became trapped in the besieged town of Bastogne, Belgium, over the Christmas season. The movie does have some action, but is more concerned with character development and the personal struggles of the brave men in the unit, who must use every resource they can find to ensure their survival. Each of the soldiers is given their own time to shine, with the movie delving deep into their personalities and backstories. Battleground won 2 Oscars and 2 Golden Globes and was very well received by critics, who praised it for its honesty and timeless message. Even though it has largely passed into obscurity, the touching moment when the soldiers attend a Christmas Day service while the war rages around them is truly remarkable and serves as a poignant reminder of how the war affected every aspect of normal life. Number 7. Since You Went Away, 1944, directed by John Cromwell. Since You Went Away is set during World War II and was released while the war was still ongoing. Instead of focusing on the war in Europe, it centers on the war's impact on the American home front, with the main character being the wife of a soldier fighting overseas. The story takes place in the weeks leading up to Christmas, as the beleaguered housewife, Anne, tries to remain positive while her neighbors' children and husbands despair over news that their loved ones have died in the conflict. Anne makes every effort to support the Allies from home as much as she can, but she grows increasingly despondent as no news comes of her beloved husband, and Christmas fast approaches. Fortunately, the movie does have a happy ending, at least for Anne, and it is far from being the most depressing Christmas movie ever made. However, it serves as a poignant reminder that Christmas isn't the same without those who matter most in our lives, and it highlights how war can affect anyone, anywhere in the world, no matter how far they are from the conflict.
I think the situation has changed sufficiently for you to give us the information we have been asking for.
Nothing's changed, Colonel.
Number 6, Where Eagles Dare, 1968, directed by Brian G. Hutton. Where Eagles Dare is only a Christmas movie in the same sense that The Wizard of Oz is. The content of the film itself has no connection to the holiday and doesn't even mention it. Yet for some inexplicable reason, it is always aired on television around the holidays, specifically in the United Kingdom. So, one wouldn't be wrong to think Where Eagles Dare is a holiday movie, and they certainly wouldn't be wrong to watch it during the season. To its credit, the film is set in the winter of 1943, spilling over into 1944, in a secluded village in Bavaria, Germany, where a group of Special Forces operators attempt to rescue an Allied general. Based on the novel of the same name by Alistair MacLean, Where Eagles Dare was commended for its thrilling action and overall consistency, making it an instant war movie classic that happens to be commonly associated with the Christmas season. It has also earned a seal of approval from renowned film directors Steven Spielberg and Quentin Tarantino, cementing its status as a Christmas cult classic. Number 5, Silent Night, 2002, directed by Rodney Gibbons. Not to be confused with John Woo's 2023 action thriller, Silent Night is a Canadian made-for-television movie set during World War II. The film is loosely based on true events and is once again set during the Battle of the Bulge. Most war movies about Christmas feature the holiday as a small element or minor scene, but in this movie, it is essentially the entire plot. The story centers on a bereaved German woman who lost her eldest son in the Battle of Stalingrad 3 years earlier. She seeks refuge in her hunting cabin in the Ardennes with her husband and youngest son. However, it seems like everyone had the same idea, as the cabin is soon entered by a group of American soldiers and a group of German soldiers. Despite the tension, the woman convinces the two squads to lay down their arms and set aside their fighting to share a Christmas dinner together. Silent Night is a movie that truly captures the spirit of the season, exploring human connection and the few things that bring people together during times of turmoil. It reminds viewers how common ground can unite even the most unlikely individuals.
How do you plead?
Not guilty. I'm not a criminal. I am a soldier with His Majesty's army.
You must tell us your past history.
My past is my business.
Number 4, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, 1983, directed by Nagisa Oshima. It's not entirely clear when exactly during the Second World War Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence takes place, but it still establishes itself as a Christmas movie. The film follows a group of British prisoners of war who have been taken captive by the Japanese. Among them is John Lawrence, the only inmate who can actually speak Japanese. To avoid violence and foster better relations, Lawrence seeks to befriend his Japanese captors by communicating with them. The movie earns its title from a memorable moment when the Japanese officer Sergeant Hara, after getting absolutely hammered, pretends to be Santa Claus, suddenly becomes much kinder and wishes Lawrence a Merry Christmas, regardless of whether or not it is actually the holiday season. The film was praised for its unique and beautiful soundtrack, made even better by the contributions of two of its main actors, British singer David Bowie and Japanese composer Ryuichi Sakamoto. Even though the references to Christmas are minimal, the movie still embodies the true spirit of the season, as it focuses on putting differences aside and treating others with kindness, despite cultural or regional divides. This is fitting, as the movie itself reflects this message, being a collaborative effort between British and Japanese filmmakers. Overall, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence is one of the best anti-Christmas movies to watch during the holiday season, perfect for those who aren't into Santa and his elves.
He spoke our lingo, so they sent him to spy school and fixed him up with phony dog tags.
He's lying. He's just trying to get himself off the hook.
He said shut up.
You heard what he said.
Okay, Herr Preishofer. Let's have the mailbox.
The what?
The one you took out from the corner of your bunk and put in this pocket.
Number 3, Stalag 17, 1953, directed by Billy Wilder. Stalag 17 takes place in the German prison complex of the same name, set during December 1944. The prison houses American pilots and airmen, 2 of whom are killed after a failed escape attempt. This leads the Nazis running the camp to suspect that a shifty inmate and black market dealer named J.J. Sefton might be an informant. Christmas plays a significant role in the movie, with many major events occurring during the holiday festivities. Overall, the film offers a stark portrayal of the harsh and brutal conditions endured by American inmates in Nazi prisons. While it isn't necessarily about the spirit of Christmas, it remains a movie that can be fittingly watched during the holiday season due to the importance of the holiday theme to its narrative. Number 2, A Midnight Clear, 1992, directed by Keith Gordon. A Midnight Clear is the 4th film on this list set during the Battle of the Bulge, and it is by far the most Christmas-themed of the 4. Christmas plays a significant role as the events of the movie deeply impact the Christmas festivities that the Allied troops attempt to hold during this horrific battle. The focus is on the Allied troops, particularly a group of scouts selected for their intellect who come across a surrendering German platoon. Though they make every effort to show kindness and take the platoon prisoner as requested, things don't always go according to plan. The movie is undeniably somber, as many war films tend to be, especially when Christmas finally arrives, and the scouts must maintain some semblance of normalcy while mourning their fallen comrades on what should be the happiest day of the year. A Midnight Clear is not just a Christmas movie, but also a story about loss, sacrifice, the past, moving forward, and the scars that never fully heal.
Good evening. Do you speak English?
Yes, a little.
We were talking about a ceasefire for Christmas Eve. The outcome of this war won't be decided tonight. I don't think anyone would criticize us for laying down our rifles on Christmas Eve.
And number 1, Joyeux Noël, 2005, directed by Christian Carillon. Joyeux Noël, Merry Christmas in French, may not be the best Christmas war movie in terms of sheer cinematic quality, but in terms of adhering to the Christmas theme, it is undoubtedly the greatest. The movie takes place in December 1914, just a few months after the First World War began. It centers on the real-life event known as the Christmas Truce, when British, French, and German soldiers along the Western Front agreed to an informal ceasefire on Christmas Day. The 2 sides met in the middle of no man's land, leaving their weapons behind to exchange gifts, share dinner, and enjoy each other's company. Joyeux Noël follows the perspectives of several soldiers on all sides during this truce and is deeply moving due to the implications behind the event. Not only does the ceasefire serve as proof that the men on opposing sides of the battlefield do not actually hate each other and are merely fighting because they are ordered to, but it is also heartbreaking because the soldiers form friendships, fully aware that they will have to return to killing their newfound friends the next day. It's a harrowing and highly emotional experience, but one that beautifully highlights the true spirit of Christmas through an extraordinary true story, making this the greatest Christmas war movie of all time.